Cecilia, she been good to me. She always helped me find the melody. And old St. Francis, man, he's the best. Help me get some things off my chest. But I never liked St. Valentine. I never liked St. Valentine. You know I never liked St. Valentine. It's breaking hearts all over town. St. Patrick, he had his own day too. Except on his day, you can go get drunk and nobody will get mad at you. You don't have to be Irish. You don't even have to know what it's all about. You can spend the night alone and you won't feel left out. But I never liked St. Valentine. Never liked St. Valentine. I never liked St. Valentine. It's breaking hearts all over town. If you perform 2 perfect miracles, you're still just a regular guy. Perform 1 more, and you're a saint. St. Christopher, I don't even think he's a saint anymore. Jolly old St. Nick, look it up. He used to run around with whores. Some saints ain't that saintly, and that's fine. At least they don't come around once a year to remind me that I don't have a Valentine. I don't have a Valentine. I don't have a Valentine. And I never liked St. Valentine. No, I never liked St. Valentine. Bringing hearts all over town.
Alright guys, I am here for a moment or two. I don't know what y'all are doing, or have done, for Valentine's today, but I thought, there a few minutes ago, I thought, you know what, for reasons, and, patterns, behaviors, monsters, etc., right? It'd be a good night to reach out to others throughout the world who are survivors, fighters, etc. of abuse. They too will recognize the patterns, etc. And for those who haven't quite yet, or they're not too far into things, but they're starting to see, warning signs, that type of thing. So if I could use tonight to do that, you know. Anyway, also, I know some of you know from the way back that that's one of my favorite bands, Reckless Kelly. And I love that song all year long. I've listened to it for close to 2 decades now, I guess. And I don't often play a whole abundance of, even though I'm sure y'all think I do, of the actual bands or songs like, because y'all think weird things uh, about everything, or people have been modulating. It's just too much, you know. But that song, for me, is a happy tune. Always has been. I love that tune. And I love that fucking band. Anyway, one of my faves for decades now. Anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you all. And, I gotta tell you, Saint Cecilia's. Yeah, that one. That's a saint. Uh, right. Anyway, but yeah, I was out and about today, and I was coming and going. One of the major centers here in the Tri-Cities, I look over and they're full. I'm like, what the hell? And I'd obviously already got others there. V-Day stuff and that type of thing. I was like, what the hell? And I forgot. It's the running thing, like every year, those big giant bougie dance. Forgot about it, you know. Anyway, I was like, hell with that, you know. I'm gonna go home and enjoy it myself, cause this year, the foot, alright, the foot, um, so I'm gonna go home and enjoy that half gallon of peanut butter ice cream and s'moreos, and, he'll be at peace, and, anyway, uh, I, for years here online, especially, or even locally, people, I don't know, it's weird, right? I mean, I'm talking like the first 3 minutes of everything before I even left, and it's been this, like, oh, another guy this, or marriage that, and it's always been like, why? Or people online being like, oh, I thought she found another dude by now, or she blah 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 blah. Or don't worry, honey, you'll find love again. Bitch, last time wasn't love. What are you talking about? Right. Uh, and, Lee's not on Monsters, man. I don't know what the fuck that was, but ain't what love is. So, and I always knew that. Always. So I was pretty cognizant where, But anyway, it's always that, right? And I've listened to that shit for years. Don't worry. And immediately people were like, I don't know if that's a comfort thing, like stupid cliche shit like people say to you after a funeral or whatever. I don't know what it is, okay? But it's not very helpful, especially to the abused or survivors or fighters or those like myself who are wildly a survivor but still undergoing abuse in real life. by monsters who want to play jump out stupid games and use the internet and do whatever else. You know, profit off of it. Depends how you see it. But I don't know why people say that. It's the least helpful thing you can say. Okay? If you know anything about domestic violence, do not encourage a female to immediately get back into a relationship or seek out love or anything. Don't do that. Alright? Because risks to domestic violence, survivors, etc., and fighters are astronomical. They're at the roof of immediately getting into another relationship that is violent or turns violent or is not healthy. And I would encourage, I mean, everybody can always do their thing. Y'all do whatever feels best to you, okay? Those who are listening. Or, know exactly what I'm talking about and just feel like commiserating tonight, but, and, those who are still trapped, right? Some days I still very much feel fucking trapped because what this realm was allowed that piece of shit to do, and it's our bike and his family, still all of them, right? Y'all don't even know. I mean, some obviously you know, right? You watch some bitch for internet. Anyway, so the thing is, for me, my advice from my perspective and my opinion and how I feel, and you take it however you like. And always do what feels best for you. But I would tell you to take time for yourself before you make any decisions or jump anywhere near another relationship. Just based on studies and stats and, what's known. But yeah, dear public and friends and family of those who are still fighting, all the things. I know you're trying to be nice for the most part, right? But I would not encourage others to immediately jump in to other relationships or whatever. Because stats are pretty well right. And survivors, fighters, etc. are always at risk, higher risk anyway, of no matter how long ending up in another unhealthy or domestic violence relationship. And ain't nobody got time for that, alright? Anybody wants to go through that shit multiple times in a lifetime. But once is too damn many. Now, but yeah, I never could figure it out, and I still don't understand why people think that a relationship means happiness, or that's how someone is made whole, or something, or like they're less than if they don't want. Look, I'm just not. I don't know if it's just that I'm not built the same or what, but I'll never believe that. I am whole as I am and always have been. And to me, I've spent the majority of my life, even with a partner, alone. And I've loved myself just fine. Self-confidence has always been. I knew what was happening was wrong, wasn't right. I wasn't going to be broken or my spirit taken or any of that from me. I was absolutely firm on that, and I would have died over it. And it's part of the problem. I wouldn't break, right? So, anyway, because that's what they want. Bitch, I ain't giving you that. You know what I mean? And y'all have to pardon me tonight. I don't know if it's something on the cat last night, after he come in and he give me sugars, whatever, when I kissed his leg, or if it was today while he was out and brought him back in, something he got into, or if it's something I've eaten, but it has burnt me up. It is the first reaction of my life. Like, it's blistered, done all kinds of things, and I'm miserable right now. And so it might be a little more difficult to hear me tonight as well. But anyway, I'll never really understand it. Um, I know others and societally we see it as, partner this, love that, it matters, da 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 da. And you know, yeah, especially for women, because somehow it means that we have worth or value if something wants us. Bitch, I ain't nobody's property. And me having this, that, like, why in the fuck is my value to society whether I'm wanted or not? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is that? What are we teaching each other, our daughters, or, what the hell are society and things teaching us? Like, no. Ladies, your worth and value and wholeness does not hinge upon whether you are single or married or in a relationship. Let me just tell you, okay? It doesn't. I don't care what society or anybody else tells you. I don't care if your great aunt Mary is like, we need to marry you, you need to dispenser. Fuck Aunt Mary, okay? Fuck her. Now, um, I'll tell you, it's just me. I don't crave any of that. Alright? I can't say even very eons ago that I did much either. Okay? I was living in the unicorn, weird, trappy, factor there. I probably never would have geared that way. I would have probably spent a career in the Marine Corps, went to college, and spent my time on this earth traveling to whatever, education based, one degree after all that stuff, right? And it's just how it was. I was never type to dream about, like, I'm planning my wedding or any of that shit. Like, that was not really me, right? So, once this sort of enough. You know what I mean? And, anyway. So, people now are like, oh, you'll find like, I don't want that, man. Miss me with that. But I would encourage, all of you out there who have undergone or undergoing or whatever, or are planning on getting out as soon as possible when it's safe to do so, not to jump right back in. But there's a weird thing, right? It's like sort of an instant thing, and as I was leaving there, I thought, you know, and I had a few days, maybe a couple weeks there, where I was like, dating, whatever, and I planned a few, supposed to go on a few, this there, couldn't make it to them, and vomit, do all kinds of things, and then I was like, I'm not gonna force myself, I'm not gonna do this, and I knew it was just to try to get back on the horse, per se, whenever, and I just couldn't, I was like, fuck it, not really. And then when you got, I'll tell you, it got crazy. It got crazy pretty instantly. I had homeless coworkers, all kinds of shit, been like, hey girl, and people everywhere. dudes I knew for decades of my life be normal human beings suddenly, and I mean like that. Like, people around me, other friends, my kids, they don't, and these dudes become crazy. I mean, fucking nuts. And were calling me and were messaging or coming by doing whatever. And were like trying to date me. And they're like, bitch, I've been waiting for X amount of whatever decades. I was like, wow, I didn't even think nothing like that, fuck. And then I had some that were my friends that apparently had been like skulking from the sideline that I didn't pick up on. I'm pretty good at picking up on that shit, but I don't know, right? There was a couple there that apparently my radar missed, and and did not realize apparently they were just in the weights or something. And they became psycho over fucking night. Like, I I don't know. They started trying to function without my permission or agreement or anything else as like they were master and commander or something. Like, they were messaging me with crazy shit and I wasn't responding and I wasn't going for the whole thing and I was trying to be nice. I thought, man, they'll stop losing their minds in a bit and go back to normal and, I don't know, but I'm done with this, right? And, it kept getting worse to the point of, like, I was damn near about to take out orders protection on some. And I thought, man, that looked crazy because I got smell a monster. But I don't know, do these fellers that have suddenly turned rabid that I've never been like that with, never want to be like that with. But they were messaging, calling. They were to the point of scaring people around me. And I mean, like, dangerous weird. Like, they were like, bitch, why ain't you answer the phone? And they're like, get on the phone with me, I'm committing suicide. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? Or they call me and be like, I just did 3 8 balls of cocaine. You need to come say, like, you're on your own. You know? Crazy shit. I was like, oh, I see all these red flags. Shooting crazy goddamn monster. Who the fuck are you suddenly? I've known you for eons. We're friends, and now you're a psycho, crazy person trying to date me? I don't think so. And, yeah, no, it was insane. These are people that were nothing like that towards me before in all the decades. And then, like that, as soon as they knew that that was up, it was just, I was like, damn, what the hell? So I was like, yeah, see, that solidifies it for me. Mm-mm. They're all fucking crazy. They smell like abuse pheromones or something on me. They think they're gonna come in like all these decades they've been telling me they knew I was done wrong as shit by that one, and they come in doing it like, what the fuck? I don't think so, right? You see how it works? That's why I'm telling y'all. It's a warning thing, right? And don't even get me started on the crazies around that motherfucker that come running to the door like, hey, date, I knew he was doing it to your work, but, blah, blah, blah. Hey, good dinner. Whatever, right? It is what they always do that. Anyway, so, but it was insane, the final cycle. Ish, you call it that. And that just, it was like, yeah, that did it for me. I was like, nope, nope, no, 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 nope, nope. Not gonna go there. And it was like, never again. And the more time went on, I was more certain of that. And the more, I, put back all the pieces of myself sort of together as I could. Because, Lord, this place did do a number on that. Couldn't heal correctly, didn't have time to breathe, and they bring him back out just to fuck around and abuse the shit of me and all and profit off it. Like, still have. So, to play ha-ha with shirt shit and this, gross shit, terrorizing, somehow widely enough able to continue to abuse the children tonight, still a thing. But the thing is I know that as I was able to, pull everything back together as the original me prior to that, and uh, and then I still, even now, this many years later, um, because of online, it's like, while on here, I cannot be exactly who I am, if that makes sense. And so it's a hard walk, ways. Um, and here, you can't really show any vulnerability, and then because of the teens and the hunt and all this, which my situation here is a bit different than most normal people. They're just moving out of a domestic violence relationship, and obviously everything is further complicated, everything, right? So this right here is not something normal that most are going to experience on top of what they have already, or etc., or give an abuser this type of avenue to continue for years, even with protections in place. So I anyway, so as I pulled things back together pretty quick, it's like, man, uh it's just not something I personally want. You know, I know many do. They dream that whatever. Most will most will continue on to do relationships and marriages and whatever else in their futures. And man, I just hope everyone out there chooses their own path and knows their own path is okay and acceptable, and whatever they choose themselves is acceptable, as long as they're happy, healthy, and remains. I do encourage anyone getting out of a domestic violence relationship to take enough time for yourself, um, to heal and to think upon, and to build everything back up, and to take time. So, but for me personally, I will never be in another relationship again. I do not crave one. I do not want one. I do not see myself growing old with anyone. It's not even visually like there, which time on there's a little limited anyway. But I mean, regardless, it's not. And I don't think that it really ever has been. But I just don't, and I'm okay with that. Um, I think there are other ways to go about fulfilling needs. Or wants, because, it depends when you look at all that. But yeah, for me, it's a no-go. Not relationships, not spending night bags, nothing like that. If I have anything, it'll always be in the realm of, hi and bye, for like you're on the clock. You know what I mean? Don't get attached and I don't hold your motherfucking hand. That's just how it is. Alright? So anyway, I'm cool with it. Now, I gotta tell you, uh I've seen online tonight these random streams I was popping up sort of made me think of coming on here for a few minutes. And using my platform for obviously what it was intended. Domestic violence, cancer, and talking about summer when and where. But anyway, I am fighting tragedy films, like promised, for the most part. And I don't get to talk about the domestic violence aspect much because they're like, what? Yeah, I mean, y'all know how it is, okay? And then a lot of people, it began happening to where they were trying to use it, in a way to get near me around summer stuff, and I couldn't have that, so it's hard for me to speak. And then anything I say about it, really, they turn around and laugh at me, fucking merch or whatever. They go about modulating to further abuse me with a piece of shit while paying him and his whore to it. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway. But, I see a bunch of streams tonight, the broken-hearted on Valentine's Day streams. It's human, it happens. We all know it does, right? And a whole bunch disappointed. And then those, all the it's a Valentine's fest over there, and some of them are horrifying on the live streams. And in posts. And then yeah, it's just yeah, I was like, all right. And I gotta tell you, um, as far as morning suns go, and those out there who don't yet realize what they're with or what they're gonna face or precursors or patterns setting up or this and right or are lowering standards for assholes while they deserve more. Um, I know that what someone purchases or does or some silly, stupid holiday set up by society to sell shit and consumerism shouldn't make a damn. However, we somehow, it's a thing. And it does matter. I remember being younger and it mattered a great deal. It's like, why in the hell? You know? And, holidays do matter to me. I'm very big on holidays. I've always been that sort of like, naturally like, bro, I will decorate the whole town for Christmas if you let me. Don't get in my way about Halloween because Halloween decorations are an all year thing. Uh, you know, and baking and cooking or whatever, like for weeks, like candies, cookies, all this stuff leading up to like Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. Don't test me, I'll fucking do it. And that bitch goes out and spends like $100 on like this stupid collective little elf thing, whatever, for tree. Like, you just don't even know, okay? You don't know. And, so it's, and like, Easter and stuff, like, I'm not even religious, but don't get in my path near Easter. I love myself some Easter, okay? And, Lord, You know, I remember my eldest first Easter. he he wasn't even like a year old, and bro, I know for a fact that I'm not exaggerating. I spent almost $2,000 on Easter shit and clothes. I don't know what the hell I was. I don't know. I was just like that with both of them, but things slowed and the older they got, but it was still like. And then I had to whoa, because I was like, all right, you're like, there were times where I was like, man, all right, they're acting a little entitled, so we're gonna pull it back a bit, And I did that because I was like, I don't like those sons and precursors. But, yeah, it was ridiculous, and it was ridiculous. But, God, I enjoyed every moment of it. But, Blaze. So, sorry, I was just having thoughts of them, both as babies and little ones and their costumes, Easter eggs, fighting the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, it all comes to mind. Crying at Santa. Eldest was never scared of the picture Santa's right places. And little wasn't either. But there was this one Santa one. Little was like, hell no. Hell no. I was like, alright. Little's a vibe person though, like me, and if she didn't like someone, I was like, alright then, and now I gotta worry. I'm like, but now I sit back and go, what the fuck's wrong with, what do you think was wrong with that Santa there, but anyway, let me tell you, ladies. Every year that's gone by, has been, it's like, tonight I sit here and despite my foot being broken, or whatever the fuck it is, the moment is just fractured, like hairline wise. Not entirely fractured, broken. But I gotta tell you, despite that, at least I know it's not done by someone and that it was just the ice that kicked my ass this year. And I almost giggled earlier, y'all. Because I was like, man, maybe that's why I've been having all this crap happen lips. Like the universe, like, it's the holiday season. Shit. What are like old times? Let's have your body, and then, like, all these things happen. Has to be. Right? I know it's not funny, but I try to find humor even in ways. It's like the further out, I guess, but, and I'm just built like that. I know other people are gonna say it a little weird, but, and there's nothing humorous about it. Don't, don't mistake that. There's nothing fucking humorous about it. There never was, and there never will be. And when he's continuing to do locally and otherwise, and on here and using this room, it ain't funny. It ain't a good time. But there are little things. Man, at least my foot's broke this year because of ice. You know what I mean? And that for me brings about this giant sigh of relief tonight, as it's been like, because I know that every year I've had this giant sense of relief on every holiday and moment and marker. every birthday of mine, the children's, etc. You know, that we're not hurt, tormented to extreme, at least not to the degree as we were physically face to face with the jackass. Here, though, I mean, thing is, still undergoing psychological, emotional, and attempted therapy shit. You get what I'm saying? So that's terrorizing on the daily. But, um, it's like there's still this in person. As I sit here, I know there's not been, and this sort of every year is a marker in February. Because it ended certain cycles of the most extreme things for months. Every year with Monster, it was sort of a stopgap. It meant like a certain thing, and the reason I say is because it's like tonight. I sit here and I know that there's not been weeks of buildup between inevitably like New Year's, where I'd be beaten lightly because it wasn't much of a holiday thing. But leading up to Valentine's and birthdays in February and things like this, it would be extreme abuse for a couple weeks. And then on particular dates that mean things to people in February, I'm talking it would be extreme abuse of me. And then as certain things became older, it would be, obviously yelling and screaming anymore to make their shit miserable too. But then on Valentine's, and it was all built up to Valentine's, right? And I'd inevitably get the absolute dog shit. Like just every day the violence would increase and increase and increase, and the yelling and the screaming, and then generally, and then it would end with some massive, huge burst of violence. And nothing obviously done for me on Valentine's. Meanwhile, I would always go out and splurge, make sure that I did for Monster, and that everything was perfect, and all the things, and buy all the shit, make everything, whatever. And so it was there, right? But then, Valentine's come, I get, I'm already wearing bruises, and then by the time the actual day, well, what am I gonna do with the gifts anyway? So most should always know you get them no matter what. Then by the end of the night, despite wearing bruises or being so sore under my skin, I couldn't stand it, knots and everything else everywhere, and just hurting so bad physically. And of course, it would feel entitled and want, and it's just like, who in there wants to do that? Nobody. But you sort of have to, right? Otherwise, you can get shit kicked out of you some more, smell, it's gonna run off to a whore, it's gonna do whatever. It's had the greatest day of its life after weeks of joyous abuse and beating the shit out of you and terrorizing others through the month of February. And then it'd run off, or, and that's the thing, there'd be a run off there somewhere, usually some whore bag. It's usually how it went. And then all you'd hear after Valentine's was lead up to its birthday in March. And every day it would be my birthday, my birthday, my birthday, my birthday. It's like, we get it already. Shut the fuck up. I never forget yours. I never don't, do something for yours. I know. I don't have somebody remind me of when yours is because I know, because heart says. And when you matter to somebody, you don't forget things. So, inevitably, be bruised, battered, whatever, and then already planning monsters. Make sure the cakes, the balloons, all the presents, splurge, da da da. Oh, and that goes splendid. Make sure to take it out to dinner, do all the things, the la. Yeah, yep, yep. And then things be calm till about June, right? And then it'd be all yelly and screaming before events there in June. And then there's certain things that, or whatever, in June, became older and just didn't become illness shit. It became the harming of them. And then it was like a challenge thing, which is common between, it's a thing, abusive men and whatever. It's a thing. And then the drawing in like a flying monkey thing, right? You gotta pick sides, teams are new, right? And then the older things came, then it was instead of just yelling and screaming and all that, in the last year or two it became physical, but it doing like a challenge thing, right? And then wanting to make sure that nothing could be done for someone else, but wanting, just like in 21, wanting me to take him out on other people's birthdays and things, right? Yeah. And then I got my ass beat on that day, and then a run off, and that whore in particular that year, and stuff. And then a few days, and I was still wearing those bruises when summer vanished. I was trying to hide them that night from the police and detectives and feds and everybody else. So it is what it is. But either way, it would always start, right? There was always like a couple month patch here where there was nothing, everything go whatever. Usually after that point, for a bit anyway. Until in October, I'd sort of be left alone. There would be anything there. For some reason, Halloween could sort of pass by with no issue. Probably because it was more seeing it on a holiday, but yeah, I don't know why. Okay, I can only speculate. But um, probably because it's not seen as a holiday necessarily mean anything to other people in a way that abuse would make. So, I mean, it's not as fulfilling. I don't know. But leading up to Thanksgiving, I would spend, like I said, quite a while before baking and making sure that, and that one had all his favorite things like baklavas, and the kids had their favorite cookies, candies. I had all the stuff ready to go for each of their favorite casseroles. I wait over that. And then that one's favorite type of ham, blah, 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 not including all the family events we had. And, there'd be inevitably, and it was one of the worst, oh my god, November was always horrifying. And, there was absolutely always a longer runoff period there, and, extreme abuse. And, I mean bad. And, I'll be trying to get it done. Bruised, broken, and, trying to keep a smile on my face for the kids and baking and cooking with them and all that. And dealing with that when shenanigans. And, well, it was runoff usually around that. It would be, happier. It's like, I just, but also then dealing with later, it depending on the year and the types of things occurring, but later years be phone calls too, and just all day long instead of just leaving us be while I run off. So either way, and then inevitably, a giant burst, running off, fucking some more, and then on Thanksgiving Day, being like, "Get me up, cook, or do I need to bring something for you, the kids?" It was one of those, can I come back because he wanted to be here with my family and this here, and it's like he went, I don't know. It's just how it was. And then as soon as we'd leave families that night, like for a while I'd act all whatever, and oh I love you, whatever. And we'd do ours, theirs, or I would, we'd do families, and then the other eat there, and then everybody would just eat on it at our house. And so, yeah, a whole hell of a lot of food. That's all I'm saying. I could have fed a small country. And, yeah, but inevitably, before you leave driveways, or shortly after, make it to the creek, it's screaming, yelling, hitting. Uh, it's like I had to pull all the joy. Anything gotten in just a few hours' time outside the box, and for us, and peace, and memories of a family, or anything. So, like, violence throughout the night. Extreme violent bursts. And then that would lead up, obviously, to my birthday a few days later. And boy, that was one. It sucked. Terribly so. And I don't even know what, like, I'd hear things like, oh, I can't imagine. Precursors and ready-made excuses before my birthday arrived a few days later about why I wouldn't deserve and didn't, and nothing was done for me on mine, or they couldn't, or the by God, he could always do it for the whores around my birthday and Thanksgiving. And that's the thing about Thanksgiving, it was always seemed like, and it's in the holidays in general, you'd always find texts or calls, or he'd sneak one of his parents' phones to her, or have a burner or work phone, or be calling and trying to raise things. But he'd always make sure to call every whore and everybody else back. Happy Thanksgiving. Just want to tell you Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm running 6 hours late for my family shit, but hey, baby, shit like that. And so you always had to deal with that shit. But leading up and on my birthday was the worst. And then for some reason on my birthday, after doing all that shit, and me being contusions under the skin and crazy shit, it act like, hey. But that was always on the end of major days or superb violence. He followed up with, hey. It's like, who in the fuck would want to touch you, though? Like, you can't really say no, right? And it was in a different way. Because as far as hate goes, um, that was probably the only way in which, um, yeah, you know, it was, quote, fine, but when you realize that the only reason it's, quote, fine-ish, in between being actually essayed by it, um, you realize that, the reason it's such a frequent thing is because it's the only affection you're getting, but then you also know better than say no. So there's that there, but it's like you know, and every relationship with an abuser is going to be different for everyone and what they undergo and how they undergo it. And how they survive the dance. The hurricane in the eyes. The moments you have to dance within in order to find a way to survive and cope with the rest of it. And to, quote, live normally within it while it's occurring, and somehow you find these ways to enjoy life or whatever, and be aware you're being abused, but then also be a partner to or continue. It's those who live it or have lived it, I think, understand what I mean and I'm trying to say. Somebody's mad. I wonder what that was about. But then in between my birthday, there's a runoff, there's all these things, inevitably another fucking whore. Always, man. And some of the most extreme violence. Leading up to Christmas, as I'm trying to cook and candies and the favorite things, and making Monster has, his favorite casseroles or, hams or whatever, and the kids just are trying to enjoy and bake and cook with the kids in between his tantrums and phone calls as he's run off with another bitch and this and the other. And it's like, left one time for well over a year, eldest and I did. And, you'll hear a different version here. I've seen one lately that I guess Monster fed out like he does the horrors as a story. And I believe it was featured by a comment in chat over there, and Parasites or somewhere. So I could tell it came from Monster, but it's not the truth of the events that occurred. But yep, it's the same story, and the reason I recognized it is because it's the same one he always gives the horrors. Got proof of that. And I've got receipts on how it really went down, too. And, yeah, but all of his fairy tale book versions, it always is like that, right? So, I expect no different. It's just like you see me bust his ass and the whole him trying to combine 4 events into one thing. It's like, alright, big boy, you want to? Here are the things. I busted again, bitch. Just like in real, face to face, I'm gonna fucking bust you out. Catch you at it. Try me. I know what you're gonna do. You know? So, anyway, I, Christmas was extreme, but boy, he always wanted, right? Never did a goddamn thing for me or mine, whatever, etc. through Christmas. But boy, he wanted. Man, like a dumbass, every year I did. I made sure he had, and he was thought of, and they were thoughtful gifts and things he actually wanted. And I can show you 1,000 messages over all day. I'm like, bitch, you ain't done nothing for me. And this year, and I would listen. Like, I ain't fucking around. He'd be like, yeah, I know, but. So tell me I'm lying. I ain't. And then the recordings I have of these events. Thanks, how yours are amazing. That one. Hospital stuff, this, there, you know what I mean? all there. Right. And it's just like here you see it. And it is absurd. That's what I'm telling you. He's better than most at what he does. It's like owl shirt shit. And then he threw it out. Well, yeah, I'm doing this though with the shirts because, well, she took everything. No, for weeks and weeks leading up to that, I noticed my clothing disappearing, bro. Mine. Because it was always my clothing. He was always taking my clothes. My goddamn pajamas, my hoodies, my shirts. I'd buy him his own. He'd ruin those things. My clothes, he always wore. And I kept telling him, and I was like, man, I'm missing shit. Why is my cart you been keeping? Where the fuck did my hoodie stash go? And I know my this, that, and everything. He was also stealing all my perfumes and jewelry and shit from her bag. All of mine and the kids' thousands of movies, you name it, right? But so you know, it was a few shirts I put in and man, he was making sure to steal and stash my clothing before that, okay? He hit his own. He picked mine to steal. Probably because he was selling a whore bag on the end of those were his. They weren't. They were my fucking shirts and hoodies, bitch. Like, and it wasn't because he was left with nothing. That's what he chose to take. Hell, when I left there, I left the motherfucker with shit that wasn't his. I left clothes of mine. That way he could be, whatever, motherfucker, whatever you want to say, right? So he lied to the public, lied to the world. Definitely lied to that fucking world. Just like he did all of them. I know the song and dance. I've seen the shit even so. It's the same story. So, even in that, he acquired her bag, just like he did the rest, the same story, which is abusive when you're lying to someone, right? And you started under false pretenses. But he did it the same way with me, right? When we were kids. Everything out of his goddamn mouth was lies. Bullshit this year. I'll go back then and even still, he does have a real set of bad guys in his life. But he sets and preps up other women for saving him or how good a partner he is on their shit. And most are never stupid enough to buy that he's hitting on doing it with, but some buy the bullshit, some enjoy participating in it. Been a couple of those, He'll always pull me with, oh, message, because I don't want to say, see, can you help me fix my issue? Can you do this? Look at this. Oh, that. And then he'll manipulate things at home, or he'll do certain things to set shit off so they can see it, so it's formulated. It's total batshit craziness is what it was. It's like having video of him for years. And there at last, it was extraordinarily bad. It's like, last few days, here he was sticking his head in the car. I'm like, baby, it's fine. It's totally fine. You can keep the car on this. And then pulling his head out of the car and in front of other people and bosses, that one, others at stores and shit, being like, I want my car. You fucking get out of here, whatever. But then sticking his head back and I'm like, baby, it's all right. You know? Or away from her baggy, chased down my family around and tell them, like, you can keep a car. But Gordy's like, I'm like, yeah, bitch, can, because it's mine, motherfucker, paid for it. Even though it's around, I knew better to do it. Right? He swore he'd never, though, take it from me, blah, 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 blah. Alright? Bullshit. And Horback thought it was his. Norberg also threw my grandfather's shit out from his funeral, motherfucker, and I guess they thought I'd never noticed. I did notice some shit about it, and then I got beat over that, so. Shit like that, right? They're a good team. But, he'd always do that. And it's all forms of abuse. And he still uses this realm, all the he's also using. Looks like others in the community do it too. Oh shit, you don't say. Of course that was gonna be happening anyway, but I tell you the things I've found out lately. Especially since November. Motherfucker. Anyway. And jump out shit, it's all crazy, right? Attempted setup shit. It's lunacy. But I know as I sit here on each of these holidays now, right? No matter what I'm doing, there is this giant relief. And I may talk about it here, but throughout the day, for the most part, I don't think about it anymore. I don't, whatever. But, always, and it is my damn story, always use my voice and my story to try to help others. And I knew that long before 21 and sort of always. And those who know me know that I was never quiet or really silent about it. The whole damn community here knew. And nobody can say I'm full of bullshit either on that. But those who know me know that my plans were to thought I'd get out much younger and everything else. And I would go on to try to have some sort of shelter and something that offered tangible help to other women to where it wasn't just, oh, you get 3 days and you got to make sure to basically just run to courts that are really extra going to actually punish you and the children, and then it ain't going to protect you from shit, ain't going to do shit, right? Something, right? And maybe one day, if I get time to do it, I will find a way to make that happen. But for now, I'll have my voice and my story, and I'll always carry it onward and use it to help others, if possible. And, but I gotta tell you, there's inevitably some point, I think, at every holiday for me, or momentous moment in my children's lives, or something special to us that there's a sudden moment of, wait a minute, hold on, we're having joy on a special day in a moment, and you sort of wait for him to creep out of the dark. It's like, well, shit, there's no yelling, there's no screaming, he's not stomping, trying to kill us, murder us, there's no anything, there's, oh my god, wait, all the happy we've had today is just ours. We don't have to give it back up. We don't have to feel like it's going to be snatched anyway. Sometimes, just hang tight to whatever we can that can't be taken. And it's like, holy shit, what? But like, tonight, it's like, man, I'm not sitting here with bruises, shit broken, my teeth all the way, through my lips or cheeks, or pouring blood, or trying to figure out how to sew myself up or glue myself shut. I don't have contusions and shit under my skin that nobody can see, or big giant bruises that people can. I don't have to worry about like trying to hide those from the public or friends or family, even though everybody knows it's happening. Nobody wants to see it. Shows my skin, right? That's the way you think about it. It's still, I don't want to do that. And for me, that's more than it means a whole lot. And it is so peaceful. It's such a relief to have those moments to go, I'm not here today on a holiday or an occasion. I mean, every day matters. in that way, and it's always a relief that, but I also had to buffer that with the fact that for years, via online and person stalking, setups, horseshit, like we still are, so there's still abuse there, right? And this group helps him and it does it for him, all the shit, and they play TE. So there's still abuse here. But, and then him latched on the family and others around us and continuing things and causing it, that is not helpful. It's him having a way to continue, and it's still abuse, man. So, but there are no real eggshells, per se. Like, you know, it's changed, so there's still this giant sense of relief. And I don't know what, I guess because the most violent occurrences were actually on the holidays right at. So each holiday or occasion or birthday or anything, it's more profound because there will inevitably always be, oh, wait a minute, this day is past and this, like, knowledge. Your whole body's not in that type of pain tonight. You go to sleep tonight and you don't have to worry about being alive the next morning. You don't have to, well, I mean, yeah, health stuff. You get what I'm saying, right? And that's the fucking hell of it right there. Is that, also, even my health as it is, and things that can happen to me every day that I'm fully aware of. Um, you know, I, I, and that too is relief in ways, right? Because I know every night, even if I don't wake up every day, if I stop breathing and stuff, which I do with some of my conditions and things, it depends on the day and night. Like, when you have problems I do, which I don't actually go into all of or anything ever, or how I'm actually doing, or what I do not allow the public to see or know, because it's always something this group's wanting to dig on or in, their damn business has nothing to do with anything. There are reasons every day I may not wake up, and there are reasons every day my life might end, and I am fully at peace with that, and at peace with whenever my time comes. But I generally, every night, when I do sleep, I know that if I die, I don't die with bruises. I know that I die at peace. I'll die alone, but not tortured. And alone does not mean lonely. For me, it means peace. And it will always be so. I am most peaceful alone. I am at my happiest with my kids or by myself. As far as like true peace goes. Now I love myself a good crowd, a good dance, a good whatever. I love people a great deal. But when it comes to like, your true peace, like your homie self, you know what I mean? A good book and, you know, selfless company, you know what I mean? I don't have to have a lot extra. So, you don't call it that. Y'all know what I mean, right? Um, so, you know, I can tell others that it gets easier, that your story becomes a quilt, all these things you've survived and survive and are fighting. They're scars. They're things you get through and that you survive. Hopefully. And I hope that for everyone undergoing, still or trapped in, or who cannot leave yet, I hope you find your way out of the darkness safely, however you need to in your own time, and don't let others ever compare. Be like, I'd never, or whatever. If somebody did that to me, or well, why ain't you left yet? Blah blah blah. You just don't. Nah, don't listen to motherfuckers. Be like, well, I left first time. Fuck them bitches. Fuck those type of motherfuckers. Your job is to survive and to escape in the safest, quickest, best manner for you. And fuck everyone else on earth if they think otherwise. And if that's all they want to do is not think of it like a human life, or several, if you have children and others involved, and that none of that bullshit petty picking and back and forth matter. What matters is that you are human life, so are your children, etc., whoever else is involved, and that you making it out alive is what matters most. So fuck anyone else that wants to play all those shenanigans or say stupid shit to you. Alright? Don't let them keep you in the darkness. Don't let their thoughts and ideas or what you are afraid they may say keep you in the darkness or from reaching out. It'll get easier to make all you've been through a patch on your quilt of life. And whether you choose to ever speak about it or not will always be your decision. And how you go about healing, coping, that's going to be solely up to you, not what others think, not even professionals or otherwise. It's going to be up to you. And do what you feel is best for you. For those of you out there listening to this, or whoever come across it, I guess, who find yourselves tonight or any other holiday or momentous occasion or moment that means something to you, and you find yourselves beside of someone on those especially societal based holidays, things like that, treated very poorly, not thought of in the least, or find someone yelling at you a bit too much or doing weird things. And I'm just early warning signs here, okay? Say the first year or two you're with somebody, they're gonna be on their best behavior. Okay? So remember, it may be a year or two before you start seeing those signs. Some you're gonna see them immediately. They won't do shit for you year one, year two, year three. they will act, you know, um, a certain way. They'll make it all about them, not about partners or good for both or whatever, you know. They will not function necessarily as a partner. Think of you, you know, or there'll be a little bit too much yelling, or there'll be some not so goodness around those moments, days, etc. And those, and I'm not talking about like, okay, look, there's a difference. Like, you'll have those jackass cliche dudes that just really, they're not into it, whatever, but they still are not very in tune with their partner, and they don't really give a shit, and all they really want to do is, yeah, I mean, they're just those lazy dudes, you know what I mean? That don't care enough to do anything that's specific or thoughtful. The most you can get out of them is like, they'll go to the store last 5 minutes, get the last three roses on a shelf that are half dead, wilted, pulled apart, and like a gallon of Haagen-Dazs. You know what I mean? And bring it back. All right, now, can we fucking, can I go to bed? You know what I mean? And they want trophies for doing something like that. There's always that type of asshole. All right, there's the whole fucking world's filled with them. You see them. Go to Walmart at fucking 5 p.m. on the average Valentine. You'll find them. All right, whole damn store's packed. It's all them. Okay, we know them. We identify. But you know, uh, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that you can go way above and beyond for. They expect that from you, but they never reciprocate. They act like you don't matter. They steal your joy leading up to events, or they seem, you know, um, like, they'll just give you one too many excuses about, like, well, why should it matter? This there, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then, you know what I mean? It's always something. Um, they'll try to make you accept less than you would like or desire or want more as a partner. Um, it's like lowering your expectations. You know, and then you start adjusting a little bit at a time to it, and don't adjust. Don't adjust, ladies and others. Don't adjust. You keep your standards, all right, and your wants and needs. Don't lower for them because inevitably they will always lower and lower and lower and lower. But if you see patterns and behaviors, if you just don't make a fuck, or they make a fuck more on holidays, birthdays, etc., or you see yelling or anger or them starting to pick in fights nearing events, birthdays, holidays, moments of whatever, that's going to get worse. Throughout time, it will get worse. It's not going to get better. Um, you ain't gonna love it out of him. You ain't gonna heal that bastard. You ain't gonna fix it. Showing in the right way ain't gonna do it. It's going to get worse. And a lot of you think, a lot think, and it's like me personally, kept learning. It's like, okay, well, I can tolerate this, I can tolerate that, I can tolerate it as this is. But then it went from that to extreme physical violence added next, all these other things. And a lot of the times it takes time before it becomes fully physical. It depends on the abuser, and every abuser is different, just like every survivor is. Um, you know, and it can take a while, even years before you think, well, the most I'd do is yell on her son, and the rest of the time it's okay. And then it might be 4, 5, 6 years before suddenly you're being punched in the face or attempted to be left in a body bag, okay? Might mean it doesn't kick off till after you have children. It might mean that you don't get, you know, strangled or killed till you're pregnant, type of motherfuckers, you know? So I would encourage all of you to look out for warning signs and make yourselves, even if you're, just out here and you live in a normal life and you are not a victim, survivor, fighter currently, make yourselves aware of the warning signs and red flags of abusers and all the things they can and do get up to and the red flags and all that. That way you can spot them and can hopefully, avoid anyone you do come across to date or marry or get in a relationship with, and that way you just avoid the whole mess. But I can tell you that it may not help because I was fully aware of red flags and signs and warning and whatever, and even as a kid when we first got it, it's like, dude, first night, it's like, I know this motherfucker lying to me. And I know he's first on, but I thought, we're teens, so. But then it progressed, right? And progressed. And it built me to also defend it against everything. And it does really have real bad guys in his life. But, then, and at that period anyway, the rest have always been pitting me against some whore and a whore against me, whatever, throughout the rest. And pretending it's Boo Boo the victim. And that it was so good to me, but blah, blah, blah. And bullshit, right? It flips the thing. It's a known thing too that they do that. Um, but I will tell you, always stick to your standards uh, and worth and value as you, because you are enough. You are a whole human being without another person or a relationship. And I always tell you, you know, just stick to your standards of treatment. Do not lower them for anyone. Do not think you can fix, heal, love someone better. It is not your job to be a hole filler for someone else and their brokenness, or to fix some broken ass dude or partner. You know, like they need to fix themselves, right? And and that's sort of a societal thing too, the rebound, this, that, and the other. Somebody inevitably gets to somebody like that, and blah, blah, but, I think in order for anyone to form a healthy relationship, you have to be healthy, and I think the other party does as well, and nobody broken or expecting love to fix everything or to feel everything or to be like, 24 karat gold on the cracked Chinese face. It ain't gonna happen, baby. And you're looking at failure there. For the most part. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be someone else's antidepressant or, you know, heal box from some other heartache, or because their mommy didn't love them enough, or whatever else. I don't know when it became acceptable for other human beings to be used as, like, that, but somehow we, I don't know. People think that. They're like, oh, I'll just go get in a relationship, it'll heal everything, it'll solve it, it'll distract me, it'll this, it'll that. I would encourage you not to do that to other human beings, or to get into a relationship because you're sad, hurt, angry, or to get in a relationship with anyone in that state. Because, and not, I mean, for me, I'm just, you know, I tell you, even if I did get in a relationship, I would not do that. It's not my job to be your counselor, your damn antidepressant. You fix all. Mommy didn't love me enough. Uh, Whatever. It just ain't. It's not my damn job. Come at me whole or don't come at me at all. You know what I mean? But in my case, I don't have to worry about that because that is not uh, even in the plans. Ever. Not ever again. And I just I just want those know who are in it or getting out of it, or have gotten out that you're not alone. Not all of our stories are the same. Not all of what we go through and undergo is the same. But there are a whole hell of a lot of things that are very similar and that we all know. And it helps when we can hear one another or hear someone else speak and go, wait a minute, that happens to me, that did happen, wait, that's what I'm seeing, that's what I'm experiencing, wait, so that's the thing that happens to most. It's like, man, it took me a long time to realize that, because I thought it was this bizarre form of abuse. I was like, what the hell, the trapping in cars, the semi-kidnapping, not allowed to go out of, head bashing steering wheels, trying to kill me while inside the vehicle, all these things. And at first I could sort of drive with her, and it would keep that from happening because they're afraid of the vehicle, being wrecked. So, oh, in the end, that didn't keep me safe either. Hell no, it didn't. But them trying to overturn or flip over vehicles, do crazy shit while they were driving, that was always the thing, too. But it got extremes in the last few years, obviously, and then you have weapons and play and all the things as well. But I did not realize that that was pretty common with the vehicle thing, and like really like kidnapping you or keeping you in cars or trying to throw. I mean, they're throwing you out of cars one thing, but keeping you in them and trying to kill you in them, that's another. Are using them as ways to trap you while they committed some of the worst violence on earth towards you. I did not know how that I didn't realize how many others experienced it until I started joining groups and other things and support groups. And I was like, holy shit. And it was this moment of waking. It's like, I'm not alone and I'm not crazy. This is another. And like, so like, I don't know, there's, when you hear, even though you know this is what's happening, you feel like, how do you explain this level of insanity to other human beings, And this can't be a thing that's happening to others. This ain't in the regular pamphlets, And so when you hear, I remember breaking down in tears when I seen others and heard them talking about it, and I thought, oh my God, I thought this was just like a hymn thing. It's not. Holy shit, you know? And I didn't feel so alone in that type of violence anymore. And I had someone to talk to about that type of what was occurring and to work, and it's moments like that that can matter and save lives, while others in the world be like, well, shut up about it. It ain't happening now. Why don't you go, right? Well, this is why. Because moments like that can bring you to awareness, bring about these sense of things I don't think those who haven't experienced it understand, in ways that help you climb up and get out of the darkness, and these moments and how much they could mean. That's why you never, and I'll never understand it. People want change if they turn blind eyes and everything's deaf heard. They'll try to say mutual or an unhealthy relationship. But no, you know, what did you do to deserve or this or and they ain't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like it's just and these monsters like this, man. Uh, when the whole world knows they're the most dangerous on the planet and how far out the damage they do goes for like generations, and that inevitably makes more on the planet abusing, harming, etc. But that these are monsters that are often the same ones that, are obviously killing women and children. Most vulnerable amongst you. Domestic violence is also usually in the past those who are pedos or, mass event type motherfuckers. They have that in the background generally. Other types of murders and things. Domestic violence is a warning sign for the worst monsters. Then people are like, well, I just knew so and so to block, but all that kept being let go. Well, they didn't prosecute. Well, I didn't know. And well, I knew he beat Jane, but we still had him over for beers and football in the locker room. And well, but I'd never expected that guy to go mass pew things, and well, I never expected him to murder Jane and all the children. I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect him to be. And we know this as a society, and then people shoo it away. Or, well, y'all just separate for the night and be okay. Oh, well, here's some papers. But when it comes to, oh, well, I don't know. We know they're breaking them, but really what we need is your body in a bag. And then when we're really only giving linen, we'll say it was like a second degree or something. And it was like heat of the moment or passion. Whoopsies, we don't know. Or we'll say your shirt was too, this, or it was mutual, or whatever. But, people always be like, why are you talking about it? It's over now. Why are you talking about it? Why don't you just get out of it or something like that? And it's fucking mind blowing. Or they expect all survivors or fighters to be all coward and chihuahua like in a corner somewhere. And if they don't act like that, then they must not be abused. And it's like, no, man, that's not how this goes. You know? So society has some problems, okay? But the problem is that it's causing more death and harm to women and children. It's supposedly screaming about because books and people pee in the restrooms, you know. So I'm like, which is it? Y'all going to pick one, right? But and they say the average is 7 times leaving for one before the final, right? And then sometimes you get like these, like me, you could always tell I was going to leave with her, and then further try beneath the love bombings, like all this sort of shit. But then, there are reasons things went down as they did there, despite it not wanting to, and all the things, and how the last and final cycle happened, and all is not as it seems with that. but usually, most, if there's some that will end in discard cycles, um, and it'll always be a flip. There are all these things, but the whole it takes women 7 times on average to leave. Well, it's no damn wonder. There's no, I don't, what I mean, like, they're only scared of leaving their abusers. And what they face alone are the hardships when first trying to get up and on their feet and everything like that. But if they try to get protection or facing the system or having abusers arrested, I think most know that you're facing an uphill battle, or you come face to face with court systems who seemingly what they do to quote help you seems like further punishment or making it harder on you or your children instead of the goddamn abuser, right? And it makes a lot of women afraid for the children and themselves, or kids are going to be taking all these other things, when it shouldn't make women or children feel further afraid to step out and to survive and say, "Here I am, I'm alive, please help." And then watching abusers go without very little anything done to them, usually. Unless they kill you, and then sometimes there might be some, you know. But it's no damn wonder. And then most of what you get, depending on where you live in the country, we have access to, and your areas, is usually a bunch of 1-800 jerk off numbers that siphon in funds, take in grants. But it seems like it's just a 1-800 number, right? And then they funnel you another 1-800 number, to another one, to another one, to another one, and then some stupid list. It's basically what everybody knows is in their head. Like places that won't take you have certain kids above certain ages or certain sexes, and oh look, a food bank or a pantry, and yo look, here's a way to report or some place that'll help you do an order protection. Who in hell doesn't know how to go do an order? So there's nothing really there, or only shelters that do a few days, but in no way for transport in some types of areas, because you've had to leave your cars. Most abusers put them in. There's no leeway, so it makes it harder, and then women have to turn and go right back because they think, fuck, starving to death, this and that, for go for help, and I can't find somewhere for my children to stay. Got to turn back because somebody will take them from me or something else. So going and getting punched in the face or beaten and broken is better than this. And but face the known is easier sometimes than the unknown. And when you know that the unknown can take even more from you, that actually matters most and is what you're trying to save. System and society are real fucked up, okay? And it's no damn wonder it takes women that many times, or even more. You know, I know it's helpful for people to think they're passing out 1-800 numbers, and oh, here's the number for 1-800 domestic, whatever. And yeah, it's helpful to some, and in some areas there are amazing things that can be accessed, but in most areas there's not. And that's just the damn truth of it. And a lot of these places, like a lot of things set up in society, are ways, it seems like, for a lot of places to siphon in monies and grants and donations and shit. And then it never really goes anywhere but one person apparently answered a day 1-800 number and then pushing you off somewhere else for inevitably for that to end the same. And that's the damn truth of it, you know? So I understand. And I just want others to know they're not alone. You're never alone. Even if you don't hear so many speak, You are definitely not alone. There are millions and millions and millions of us. And society can act like, oh, there can't be any. No. Domestic violence is pretty damn prevalent amongst you. Look at the stats. I'll have a lot of your friends, family, church members, everybody you pass by every day, as soon as the next cubicle over, are being fucking abused. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You don't have a damn clue. Or maybe you do. But, yeah, it's happening. It's happening every day to millions of millions. And there are millions and millions of survivors out here that aren't even included in the stats because they never got paperwork or courts and this thing, you know? But to add to the chorus of fighters, survivors, victims, one out of so many others, just this giant chorus. The voices, whether still silent, hidden, made silent forever, I mean, you're not alone, guys. And unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever see a world to where it's just one or two cases or anything here. I don't think we will. And we are more than quote cases or court dockets, our scars, our bruises, our quilts, our stories. We're far more than that. We're human beings that matter. Um, None of us have ever deserved what we've been through, go through. Nobody deserves that. There's no reason or justification for it. There's no excuse great enough. That, and there's nobody that can explain it. And anyway, as far as explaining it away, I mean, it's just not. It's appalling, abhorrent, terrible, horrifying. And not a damn one of us ever deserved it, nor do we deserve it, nor will anybody ever. Hopefully, all the voices will one day help the world change. Society to understand better. Stop turning blind eyes to it or pretending all women and children matter, you know. Quit using us and not actually caring about us. Quit that. But I just wanted to help others understand some of the warning signs. And I mean, there are so many, and they change for every person. And let others know it's a good idea before they can get anything serious to start doing a little research on what to watch out for so you hopefully can avoid any of these messy ass, dangerous types of monsters and never wear the first scar bruise or have to lower your standards or feel like you need to. And whether you've ever been a survivor or fighter or not, I hope all of you out there tonight have enjoyed your day, uh, Valentine's, and however you choose. Hope all you ladies stuck to your standards. Hope all abundance of you didn't fall for cuffing season either. And y'all know I'm not about. Y'all know. I meant to warn people about that before, like, the holidays, but I think we all know, right? Cuffing season is real. Valentine's is the worst. And if you're like me this year, you're like, straight up was too. I was like, hell no. I was looking at the phone, like, hell no, homie. I'd be out here and people like, hey, I'd be hell no. No. We're like 4 weeks from Valentine. You missed me over anyway, but which that's gonna be with me. That's like a daily. Anyway, I hope all of you out there tonight though are safe, healthy, happy, and that you've enjoyed your days. Um, and you were treated today by someone or yourself exactly the way you'd want to be and expect. And that love no matter what, and no matter what this stupid day's title yesterday. Um, I hope love of yourself and whoever you love was greatly present, and that all of you out there do make a cognizant effort to love yourselves every day and to know your worth and your value as you and you as a singular every day. And that you are always a whole human being as just you. Okay? Anyway, I hope all you ladies also got like your gallon ice cream. That's all I'm saying. I'm hoping you didn't just choose the salad. Yes, I hope you got the multicolored all the things you want to do, okay? And anyway, the not shitty chocolates. Alright, so and whatever flowers you wanted. Cause I know y'all like flowers. I'm not big on flowers. Well, any time other than the ones that grow out of the dirt. Not big on dead flowers. Yeah, right. Just don't. But I hope all of you have a great day and night, and that love and peace tonight, just as I do. So, well, I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, dang. So anyway, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna hop off here, cause hey, it's a Valentine's quickie, all right. And I didn't quite say everything and articulate everything I wanted in the way I wanted to, like, but I hope it helps someone out there and will in some way. And to let at least one person know tonight they're not alone. They're not. Even if they're silent and still trapped or whether they're walking, it doesn't matter, you're not alone. Alright? And if you're still trapped, still waiting on your chance, remember what I said? Fuck society and the world. the competition, the whatever you hear out here in the world, it doesn't matter. You are what matters. You get out on your own time as you can when it's safe to do so. You make it out alive because you matter and you are not alone. Anyway, it is now turned from the 14th to the 15th, and y'all know how I feel about the 15th. And so, I'll ask tonight as well, and especially since domestic violence is obviously a big part of Ben Hill, which some people can't quite understand. And say, well, Jody Sue just needs to shut up. Well, you know what? Guess how many others were undergoing domestic violence inside of Ben Hill? It wasn't just my children and myself. It was Summer and her brothers and others as well inside that road. And we weren't the only ones to ever experience it on that road. That road is definitely a cursed place, but so is the rest of the world, I guess. But people forget domestic violence is part of Summer's life, too. Her favorite word, as Dawn says, stop. And her favorite word, and a peacekeeper. It's a child begging for the violence to stop because they're scared and they're afraid, just as mine were, just as Summer and her brothers were. So I asked tonight for y'all to please share the domestic violence / universal and signal for help. It can and does save lives. And as always, I'll ask you tonight to please share Summer's picture, her age progression photos, and basics in the flyer format. Height, weight, etc. at the time of disappearance, etc. And then to share real links to real news sources and real journalists, not talking heads, not faux entertainment news types, etc., but real journalists, real news sources, law enforcement agencies, FBI and TBI, etc. And I would ask and encourage you to cycle those links out to different pieces off and on so that the right eyes and ears can see and hear them, etc., and read them, and that someone out there has the aha and calls or goes and turns whatever that aha or key is in, and it is the final thing needed, if needed, by law enforcement to find Summer and make arrests. Okay. And sharing that and real information can also, oddly enough, lead to the aha needed for someone to identify the perpetrator or perpetrators and maybe sitting right beside them, because Lord knows they have to be sitting beside of somebody, don't they? And maybe somebody will have the aha. That their behavior's been off. That they were something XYZ on June 15th of 2021. That every time they open a news piece or an article or whatever on Summer, the person sitting beside them acts funny, or every time her name is mentioned or her face shown, they act funny or something's a little off, and it brings them back to their moment. Not something, and they call and go, "Dear law enforcement, this person's acting strange around me. Something doesn't check. I kind of have this memory of this there," and when law enforcement gets to looking, they find. And they put the perpetrator or perpetrators in cuffs. So, please continue to share Summer's picture, age progression photos, basic flyer information, and real links to real media like WCYB, WJHL, Times News Online, Kingsport Times News, Rogersville Review, Johnson City Press, Bristol Herald Courier, okay, TBI, FBI, NEMAC, you name it, okay? Anyway, much love to all of you. May you have a good night, a peaceful night, one filled with love, happiness, a dance. Enjoy the spec, the vast cosmos. Right? Be a good pebble, sparking a voice whenever you can. I promise little things like that, save lives, travel the world every day, and break apart the darkness. Even if you don't realize or think of it that way, even a smile to a person seemingly having a grayish day can create tsunamis out of ripples. As a butterfly effect and travels the world, you have no idea what something that simple can mean, and that it does indeed travel the world in little ways. Little things matter, folks. Anyway, we're gonna go out tonight with the same tune that brought us in. You may not like St. Valentine, but I sure do love St. Cecilia. Y'all have a good night.
St. Cecilia, she been good to me. She always helped me find the melody. And old St. Francis, man, he's the best. Helped me get some things off my chest. But I never liked St. Valentine. Never liked St. Valentine. No, I never liked St. Valentine. It's breaking hearts all over town. St. Patrick, he had his own day too. Except on his day, you can go get drunk and nobody will get mad at you. You don't have to be Irish. You don't even have to know what it's all about. You can spend the night alone and you won't feel left out. But I never liked St. Valentine. Never liked St. Valentine. I never liked St. Valentine. It's breaking hearts all over town. Two perfect miracles. You're still just a regular guy. Perform one more, you're a saint. St. Christopher, I don't even think he's a saint anymore. Jolly old St. Nick, look it up. He used to run around with whores. Some saints ain't that saintly, and that's fine. At least they don't come around once a year to remind me that I don't have a Valentine. I don't have a Valentine. I don't have a Valentine. And I never liked Saint Valentine. No, I never liked Saint Valentine. Bringing hearts all over town.